what's happening right now. Anyway, hi guys. Looks like we're live.
What?
Live from London, Ontario, Canada. It's Captain Foley.
And not London, Commander Kardassian. Yep. Is the question, what, 7 times out of 10? Is that London?
You're close. I mean...
Not by our
relatively.
standards, no.
Well...
By your standards, I'm near the cinema.
It's like, what, 48 minutes to London from your place, or an hour?
Yeah, we're efficient. It's 40... 39 is the best I've ever done it. We went to see Deadpool and it was a 45-minute trip, so it's relative,
quick,
right?
Man.
Huh?
That's how long it takes me to drive from this end of the city to the other end of London, because our transit system sucks, and our roads suck.
But that was with traffic, though, wasn't it? The 45 minutes?
Well, yeah, because our roads suck, and it's just London was poorly designed.
It can't possibly... it's like 100 whatever miles, and you're not going... No, it's more than that. Anyway, hi!
Hi.
So, after yesterday's live, we had, well, Stuart had, full credit to him, the epiphany of... I've been prepping thumbnails for the TNG characters and the DS9 characters, the Vor'cha characters. And Stuart said, just do the ships as well. So we're going to double build this.
Well, we are a ship channel.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do something ship. And it was super fun. At least I found it super fun. I think you did as well. Subdividing the characters. And you know, Quark is fair. He's in TNG, you know. The technicality of their appearance in that show. And now we're going to look at ships. So anything that appears in TNG is fair game. But only as it appears in TNG. So any other appearances will not be included. But that makes it kind of fun. And mild arguments can be had. If you can, in your viewer submissions, do tell us what episode it's in to allow for quicker searching. Or any information is good. Just helps me out because I've got to find everything on the spot. Given that we have some. But we want to be a you guys.
Well, you'll be able to find the ships a lot faster than characters, let's say. So,
but good pictures though. That's the slight.
Raj says, "How come Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Picard ships are not mentioned on the poll, or they considered them to be part of the TNG era ships?" Well, let's see. There's only 4 options for a poll. First of all, second of all, Lower Decks is TNG era ships essentially, ish. Prodigy is also kind of a little bit. But no, I just didn't have more space on the poll. Only 4 options, guys.
Yeah, if you really want to be generous, TNG is everything until the modern era Trek, and you get into Picard era. But that's like 4 shows, and that's not okay. TNG is seasons 1 to 7 of TNG,
or the movies,
and the movies. So TNG era. So Lower Decks will have TNG era ships, but they don't have that many. And there are Voyager era ships. And DS9
they got like the Idian class and stuff in Lower Decks, which comes after TNG era ships.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, so normally you'd say DS9 era ships. But if you say Voyager era ships, you know as the audience you mean in the Delta Quadrant, because of course Voyager and DS9 are comparable, but you wouldn't think to include the Creme Time strip in DS9 era ships. They are, but that's not the framing of that. Same with Enterprise era, or Lost era, etc. So... pretty straightforward. TNG does mean TNG in this case, because we want to have that nice, we're learning stuff as a community,
Yeah. So that's why it's always only 4 options. There's other ones we could definitely put in if we go up to like 8 or something, but unfortunately, sadly, the YouTube says no. So
it would be cool.
It is what it is.
Now, I guess had you had a view of like 1,000 people, then those sorts of 12 votes. But I guess most lives don't have thousands of people,
Yeah. All right.
Let me share. I'm excited to see what you guys want to talk about and how they whatever. It's like there are how many Miranda variants?
And not only Federation ships. This is anything. Ships of the week, alien ships, the Romulans, Ferengi, anything that you can think of that showed up in TNG.
Yeah, we encourage everything and anything because the
Chameleon battle cruiser.
Yes.
Work.
Yeah, I mean you guys did amazing yesterday. The fact that the weird stuff comes in, and yet can still be. Because that thing, design is design. We're not going to agree on quite as much because we have more strong opinions on some things. But, compromise and you guys, being our bosses by doing final decision if you want also helps. See you guys in a second.
Yes. Hit the like button, guys. 24 of you here, 13 likes. Let's get those likes up to 20. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Welcome to Solaris 92 from West Washington, Seattle, Ballard specifically. Welcome. But yes, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. This is a viewer's choice, so you guys super chat in with your ships that you want us to talk about or rank, and we will do so. And then, of course, you have the ability, if you don't agree with our rankings, to bump them up or down, again, via super chat. So super chats do help the channel, so if you can, please do so. We really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to hit the like button. It's very simple. It's just a thumbs up, and it makes a huge difference in analytics and stuff. So please do so. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel before I die. Subscribe to the channel and click notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any content from us, either whether it be edited content or live content. We do a lot of content, and we want you guys to be part of it, so don't miss out. Click the notification bell icon, and hopefully, maybe, if you're lucky, YouTube will notify you, but it doesn't always work out that way. So whatever, it is what it is. Do the things you can to help us out. There's also a join button down there. You can join the channel on YouTube or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards to join. Get your name in the credits, get assigned to a ship, and yeah, you'll be in every video essentially, which is kind of cool. So help us out if you can. And also there's links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store, so make sure you check those out and buy some cool Trekyards merch. Dun dun dun.
We be back. But if you want to throw in one of the ones from the lineup, as people put in their submissions. See what feels like.
This friggin' thing. Andrew Probert designed the bubble ship. This was from the Outrageous Okana, I believe. And wasn't it? Or was...
It's the plague ship one. When Deanna sees the visions of the guy, but the guy is seeing the visions of the other girl. So no, not that one.
Anyway, yes.
Because this is early TNG when they actually built original-looking ships, and then he started saying, "Well, we've ran out of money. We've got to get shit."
Yeah. So yeah, this thing is very cool. Again, it's an Andrew Probert design, and it's got a very unique take with that big globe in the middle of it. It's quite visually interesting, and it's one of the ones you can't really reuse or kit bash necessarily to be a ship of the week because it's so unique.
And yet they do, because they remove the bubble and do some other few things.
Okay, yeah, if you remove the bubble and do some things, then fine. It's also got the front end like a Ferengi type ship.
It is, yeah.
So it's quite interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Did Eagle Moss even make this one? I would assume so.
I would assume so, but it didn't leave an impression, which is probably why. Yeah.
Well, it's a unique looking. This could be like from another sci-fi franchise. Honestly, it's such a cool look, right?
It's civilian, right? Although, in fairness, it's very much very close to the Ori ship from Stargate.
Yeah, I was thinking that as I was talking about it.
Not literally, but in a lot of ways. Now, how are you going to judge these, right? Because we've done reviewing designs, and this isn't that necessarily, because that's everything. Otherwise, the more thought out ships are going to get higher rank. How are we doing this? Because characters was one way. What are we thinking here?
I'd say unique design aspects for sure. How much of an impact they played in a specific episode. How kit bashy they are, because that can detract from the overall score. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard to kind of judge. But that's our job. That's what we do here. So.
Yes.
What are you thinking for ranking?
So I think this is a more varied analysis than just ship designs. So yeah, like I say, the episode it's in, how memorable the ship is in the long term, and how much effort was put into the just the Bajoran freighter turned Pagler ship turned da-da-da. Some of them have more thought put in, some of them do not. So those are going to, whatever, even if the design is almost the same, I like potentially what they put into them. So very much multi-varied, along with gut. And I think also, like I said, how memorable and remembered they are is important. Because this, I think, is quite well remembered, because it's such a weird, unique episode, and it's one of the few really designed ships.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For memorable, like let's say the Lakota, it's basically the same as the Enterprise B. But are we going to rank that up higher because that was quite a cool battle that it was in?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's ship specific almost, not just class.
I mean, a lot of things gonna be one-offs, right? So that's got to be part
Yeah.
of it, you know.
Okay.
And also, if you know, if there's 6 Mirandas, and all they are different is one's not got a roll bar, the episode will affect it, right? There is some sort of small subtlety, right? It's not ship classes, but I see what you mean. But absolutely.
And sorry, I said Lakota. That's Deep Space Nine, but
well, we'll do that at some point, right? Absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Because our Excelsiors and that Lakota. So I think I like the episode. The scummy actor who plays the guy, because he's a scum in other things, he's a very good scum actor in a good way, right? So he's memorable. How kind of creepy it is. The parents bickering. Like, it's a memorable episode once you remember which one it is. And this I remember was quite a fun thing to see. It's a plague ship. It adds all these context things. It's super different. My gut straight away is a mid to low B.
Yeah, I was also thinking B for this one because it's a unique look, and it's a good place to start off for.
Yeah.
As we always say, contrast is important in these charts.
It stands above the parapet. It's just not got very long legs.
Perfect. Well, let's get to some of the super chats that are coming in, which we appreciate, guys. By the way, hit like. We have 24 people here and only 19 likes. I asked for 20. Come on, one of you
What
hasn't
do you
hit like
mean?
No, you should be at 25 at least.
26.
Right. Schmobuddy puts in $5. USS Melbourne, Riker's desk model of 4 nacelle Nebula class and future imperfect. Okay, so this is one of the, well, a lot of the ships, TNG ships are kind of kit bashy, especially when you get to the Wolf 359 fleet. And this is just odd because as a model maker, I'm looking at this going, okay, so those are, 1700 scale, Enterprise nacelles, and then 1,000 scale Enterprise nacelles on the top.
I mean,
but
just because you're a smart lad,
Can't say as I specifically remember it being on his desk in Future Imperfect. But
did you have a look?
Well, probably. I mean, we probably mentioned it during our review, but regardless, I mean, it's one of the Kit Bash 359 kind of fleet vibe to it. I've never been a fan of the Nebula class, honestly. I think it looks kind of cheap and lazy. And this, adding those other nacelles, which seem remarkably out of scale. I get it, they're just smaller versions of the same nacelle, smaller warp coils, and that's fine. But it seems like an odd choice just for the sake of having something cool and different. It just doesn't seem very thought out. Like, how do those aid in its... I don't know what the power emissions would be, what the speeds would be on those compared to the main ones. Why are they there? Does that top portion separate?
I feel like the answer is just yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so anyway, that's my thoughts so far. What are you thinking about this one?
Okay. Good points. But I still kind of like it. It changes the vibe so radically of this ship by just doing that bit, and I want to know what the hell that back piece actually is that they have just shoved nacelles on. Like, what is it? And it's so interesting, but also not. It's definitely one of those less cohesive. Now, had there been different nacelles, of course, it wouldn't take much to make it more interesting. Or even if that was thank you, that can always be a secondary craft.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Like, it seems like that was almost the intention, but the way it's joined is very haphazard. It's just literally...
Yes.
We're not going to mold anything special to do this. We're just setting this piece on.
It's going to be standard definition on some TVs this big. I've never seen HD ever.
Nobody will ever talk about this.
Well, yeah, obviously, if you're, adding in all the layers of memorable, no. Known, no. Talked about, no. Logical, maybe not. But is the fact that it's still a Nebula going to raise it up? But that's such a bias point to have, each Miranda start at a B or whatever. So is it not fair? Is it not justifiable to not have those biases remain and purely look at it as what does this thing add to it? Otherwise, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. That's one thing I did like about the Nebula. It's, as much as I don't like the design, I like its interchangeability with the different pods on top, either a sensor pod or a weapons pod or whatever this is.
It's a micro warp pod. Let's go F to set a bar because this is a because it doesn't work, and that's the problem, right? It's not memorable, and we didn't even know it existed until like a fan found the version of it, whatever. It has not stood the test of time, Stuart.
Okay, we'll go for F for now, but I think it should actually be up higher. And if we get some Fs, some real Fs,
yes.
Again, comparison is key.
Yeah, but the fact is it's not memorable at all. Got to be a demerit, right?
Sure. Yeah. FUR. I mean FU.
What?
What? Yeah. Oh, what's next? Livia Julius, $5. The USS Stargazer. Ah, yes. This is from a previous era, one could say. This is more like movie era, but that play a big part in the show. It was Picard's first, like, his former command.
Invented for TNG, so it's a TNG.
It absolutely was. But using clearly model parts from the era of the refits.
But how is the Stargazer style in TNG? Well, I wonder if it just means Stargazer, but I mean, it is the same as the Hathaway, of course. Sometimes they do tweak them, but how does it play in TNG?
Interestingly, this is one that you could have just literally kept the refit saucer, but they thickened it up. They added more decks, they added shuttle bays, they added a whole bunch of greeblies and different domes and stuff on it, as well as the 4 nacelle configuration, which up to that point really wasn't a thing. So, yeah, I mean, this is a long-range explorer, as we know, and I think it plays an important part in Picard's history, and specifically one episode where the Ferengi try to mess with Picard. It's a cool design as well. But yeah, that's my thoughts so far. What do you what's your input on this one? Because I think I know where I want to put it.
Oh, it's one of the very few successful kit bashes where it is better than some of its parts. It just kind of works. That's of course because Andrew Probert had a big hand in it, as did Rick. They made real magic here with what have we got, what can we do, and do something different. But it's really iconic to the show, of course. It's a random ship that came in Stargazer episode. It's on the desk. It's in the TNG room. You see it often, so it's always there in some form. It's in several episodes. Like I said, as Stargazer, as Hathaway, both really great appearances, both very, very memorable, two very definitive ones. It's a Constellation class, you know.
Yeah, because originally that one was Constitution class, and they... Yep.
And it's also in all of the fleet shots, the very few we see. It is in... I'm pretty sure it's in the DS9. I'm pretty sure it's in Best of Both Worlds. I know it's in the Data against Romulan's fleet sequence, which is really rare. It's like, whoa, it's back. I mean, it's very minor, but it's like, hey, it's back. So for TNG and how much impact it has, the lowest I'm going is an A, but I think based on legacy it should be S, because it is the standout in both episodes that it's in, and both are great episodes.
Do you think it should go in S?
Yes.
I was thinking A personally, but a high A. So
because we've seen several bridges, we've seen engineering, we've seen layers to it. I think this one is.
And he just keeps talking, even after I've agreed.
He keeps talking, and his voice.
In one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, so that no one had a chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic.
With no super chat to stop him from talking constantly. Oh, there's more super chats.
Super chats, so I can interrupt him.
Now, do you agree with this?
Like I said, I was thinking high A, so I have no problem slipping it into S, and I agree with the logic behind it. Yeah. So yes, I do.
I mean, obviously Galaxy and Deredex, and those are going to be the S's, right? But I think this legacy factor, as in the show that we're talking about, yeah, gets it that high. It's not really used in other shows, so it's this, you know, it would not be this high in DS9. It would be just a fleet ship in one episode, pretty much, which is sad because they could have brought it back. Dick.
Dickheads. All right, Schmo Buddy throws in $5. USS Pasteur, TNG, all good things. Return of the Sphere, really different than anything shown for Starfleet.
Return of the Sphere. Return of the Sphere.
Well, this is bringing back the heart and soul that was the Daedalus class in a new form, which I really appreciate. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of the secondary hull design and stuff, but it does work for its purpose. And even the nacelles are kind of, but they remind me kind of the Oberth nacelles, just in their differentness, being kind of unique. I'll read that later. Don't even. I'll get to it. I don't even care at this point. Hi, Classic for Real. Welcome back. He's probably learned from yesterday. Anyway, no, this is actually quite unique. I wish I would have seen more of them. We saw one in Lower Decks that Mariner had served on. Yeah. And I'm curious to learn more about that. Hopefully we'll see some this season. But no, I like this new take on the Daedalus class design. It's very unique. Mm-hmm. It is kind of post TNG in a way, because that, all good things is in the future.
Although since Mariner's on it, it's.
Oh, I know.
Early design.
That's what I was saying. The Constellation is also kind of early, like before TNG era. But we're talking about any ship that showed up in TNG. So, yeah, I know where I want to place this, and I might get some pushback on it, but that's fine. What are your thoughts?
Never. Yeah, this one's tricky because it is a hero ship, kind of. They do spend a decent amount of time on it. It's sadly gets destroyed, you kind of feel it. It's nicely Beverly's first ship, because she's Captain Ilios after this, so huzzah. Although it would be kind of cool if that was the Pasteur as well, but that's irrelevant. It's got a decent bridge, which is a kitbash of other things, but it is kind of nice. And I think that's where they got they built the Raven console, reused. It's kind of in some nice space shots. They all kind of stand out. There's very few of them. Ready Room, you see, I believe. And it's a good set of scenes. It feels kind of cathartic in a way. We're end of TNG. We're in the future. We want to see things. We want to feel things. We get the new uniforms. We get them all in different costumes. And they do design a new ship. For one episode, right? And it could never be in it again based on the logic of the episode. They put the time and effort in, so it's definitely a nice thing on top of a nice thing. This easily could have been a Nebula or Miranda, right? Could have been. But it's in one episode, not very long of it. You tell me your gut, because I'm not sure where my gut is yet.
My gut personally is A.
Okay.
Because it is like that step forward from TNG design, but harking back to the Daedalus class and trying to pull that into the future and make it part of the consciousness, because the Daedalus class is often forgotten about. Yes, it's cool that Sisko had one in his office, but it was ignored for Enterprise because the dome or the sphere was, the ship has to have a saucer. Like, it's just stupid logic, right?
It's a saucer, but extended.
Yeah, well, a saucer that just had a whole bunch of helium blown into it, and so I think A for this.
It's a saucer went off its diet.
I think A for this, for all the reasons you said as well. The fact that they designed an entirely new ship for the last episode, never to be really thought of to be used again, even though we do see it in, docked to DS9 and Lower Decks, which is fantastic. So
my gut was B, because it's only in one, and you don't talk about it much more. Like, it's some brought up, but it's not as much. But what may have got me onto that, I think I'm still slightly on the margin of B and A. But yes, the fact that this brought Daedalus back into Peel's consciousness, because this allowed a fully on-screen Daedalus, fully canons, a fully on-screen ship that you can have fans say, oh, a ball source, that's interesting, and we go and research, right? This opens up the door. So I'm still fine to be a B, but you could tuck it slightly into A, and I wouldn't complain, because of the fact that it opens up people's thoughts on ball ships. So that's my vote.
Sam wants people thinking about balls.
What?
Hopefully not his specifically.
Some balls.
Got some balls saying that. Anyway, moving on.
You have some balls vinegar? No?
Olivia Julius, $5. The USS Pegasus. Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, are we talking the actual ship or the ship with the attached asteroid?
I assume at Oberth, with this especially. I mean, in this episode, right? Because you can't take every. They're all different. So this Oberth with this knowledge and this whatever. Because people are allowed to do several named. That's okay.
Damn cool ship with the transphasic cloak or whatever the fuck it had. Really cool, and it also ties into Enterprise. This is the finale, unfortunately. Plus, I mean, the captain or the admiral, what Pressman was his name.
Yeah,
he was a great character as well.
Got high rank yesterday. Yeah,
knowing Riker served aboard it, gotta love the Oberth. It has a kind of special place in my heart, and it was great to see it back a few times in TNG. This particular one was very super cool though, and to see it, what actually happened to it, the fact that it got embedded into an asteroid as a result of this cloak, is interesting. So this actually kind of stands out quite a bit, honestly. So there we go.
So the well, the Oberth is kind of a punching bag.
It is
of TNG, but of course it was in Star Trek 3, so. And it never comes back really again, so it's not as if there's a ton of extra oomph to go along with that. So this, you know, that slight whatever there. But I love seeing the sort of engine room. I kind of think the story is excellent. Of course, I referenced and showed it in a Trek shorts, which was fun and weird and cool. But you also barely see the ship.
You do barely see the ship, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna gut a C for this version of Oberth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Although, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Because it's barely in it, and it's a lovely side thought, kind of. Yeah.
Perfect.
This version, but you can include other versions if you're so inclined to.
Well, there's one that gets hit by an asteroid and Naked Now, so.
That corridors.
Jamie Somerville, $5. Galaxy refit from All Good Things. Live long and prosper. All right. Galaxy X. Okay, how do we fucking ruin the Galaxy class? Let's see. Let's attach a bunch of extra shit to it, which is odd for me to say because I really love 3 nacelle designs. The third nacelle is not the problem. The third nacelle actually looks really good. What bothers me is the phaser lance added to the bottom and those stupid goddamn wings that they have beside the bridge module with the weapons things. I do like the addition of the top of the nacelles, having extra bulk and having like phaser strips up there. I think that's really cool. So take off those things on the saucer. You can leave the phaser lance. It's fine, honestly. It's not too bad. And I know exactly where I want to place this. Thoughts?
I mean, it is talked about quite a bit. It's in shockingly few shots for how much of an impression it left. It phases in and kills a ship, and then it sort of is at warp, and then it's sort of passive ship after that. It would have been nice to see it do some stuff. Because it deserved to see it do some, even just a warp and see what is their warp 14, right? They would have change the hue of something or whatever. But it's always been remembered for the phase lance coming in, the fact that it does feel like a much beefier version of the ship. So that's a success in structure, if not in aesthetic, as a cheap version as well. Plus, it links to dreadnought, so you get your win, and it's definitely, it's definitely Franz Joseph referencing, clearly inspired. The fact they put phaser strips on the nacelles is a nice touch. They didn't just kit bash their kit bash. They did a bit more with it. I mean, in terms of icon, this beats a lot of stuff in this list, hands down, because it is the erstwhile next generation version. And I think a lot of us have joked this could have easily been in, say, Picard as a joke. Like, we're bringing it out of dry dock and it's come back. Oh, it's a Galaxy X or another version of the Galaxy, right? Inspired by. So I'm at least A, but I'm possibly S-ing based on its memorability and cool factor. Maybe not aesthetically, but what it's trying to do, what it does do, etc.
I wanted to give it an A because I think the Galaxy class should be above it.
Fair. Give it an A, Stuart. I think. I mean, it's such a moment. But it's so interesting that they never, it wasn't destroyed at Viridian, and the different design path. It's a fun what if. I do think it should be included back in the canon in some way. I do think it should be there somewhere. It'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. Schmobuddy, $5. Starfleet Academy trainer TNG, the first duty Wesley in Paris murdered a fellow cadet attempting Colvrod starburst. All right, so this is it. And I was looking at this off to the side and had to zoom in. Why in the name of God does it have a Cobra symbol on it from G.I. Joe? I'm not complaining. I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan. It's a cool symbol. Why is it on this ship?
Because you were never meant to see the ship.
Well, guess what? We're here now. I like the design. I like the idea of these kind of smaller ships for civilian use or for whatever. I don't really think fighters are a great thing in Star Trek, as we've discussed before. But I do like the design. This could be a ship of the week, and I'm sure this was kit bashed into multiple other ships over the course of the week and stuff.
No, it was only for physical miniature, so I don't think it
really.
Was. Yeah, this is the first time I've done a CG. It's a great model by the Eaglemoss team. No, okay. This is shockingly never used again.
Yeah, well, I like it. Your thought?
Yeah, this one annoys the hell out of me, but just because it's a really nice, simple, original design, and then abandoned to history. Now, of course, it is a very, very original. You can't really use it many other places. I get that, but it's such an effective design, and retrospectively, it kind of looks like the NX-1 shuttle pod a little bit. AC ties, that's bias, of course, but it's nice. But the fact is, did you know what the ship looked like until Eaglemoss? Really, without a CG model, without anything, can't hear you.
I said, well, we got the computer display of that starburst. So you did see the silhouettes of them, and yeah, they look cool. Looking at the details, again, why is there a Cobra symbol on it? But
what I mean is, had it been before Eaglemoss, could you have sketched this with any accuracy?
Rough shape of the top, yes.
Hopefully, right? Because it didn't necessarily pick out enough as a big whoa. So it's one of those things where it didn't get, and there's no exterior shots of it. If you're in the remastered, you can see the back of the other ones. But I would love to have seen one single shot of the miniature landed at the Academy or flying to the planet. There's no normal beauty fix. Everything's from the perspective of the camera, which is awesome, really cool. But there's no classic beauty. That annoys me because it should have had something like that.
The thing I'm looking at right now that kind of reminded me of another ship, and I mentioned Voyager specifically, is it looks like the top part and that curved back look like one of the shuttles from Voyager.
The Devore. Maybe. Oh
no, like just the middle section, like cut everything
9.
off except for the. Yeah, it's got that kind of curve of the.
Right, both Rick.
Oh, well, exactly. That's why I said kit bashy. Anyway, where do you want to place it?
I mean, no higher than a C, unfortunately, for me, because it has no legacy, and that's sad.
For me, it was going to be a D, so...
Okay.
It's cool design,
yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, higher in design, but it can't be for legacy, and like I said, imagine one shot of it landed, like 6 of them landed in a matte painting. Oh, it was so nice to see. Or if they'd spent the money to have, like, Paris or one of the other people, not Paris, like have a ladder and go up to the cockpit and you see it, but as like a partial set and a map painting would have been so amazing. It would have been so really cool. Possibly it would have given you too many fighter vibes in Trek, but it's a test thing. It's fine. Maybe.
Okay. Classic for real, $20. $5 for the erstwhile Captain by Okana captain, then $15 to bump it up. There, following instructions. Happy, hallow, thanks, Xmas year. Thank you. P.S. Way better to spend on Trekyards than useless writer guides. Or writer guilds. Okay, perfect. I assume that's this one. Where is it? Come on. Stop with the delay. I hate that. This thing?
Yeah, it's a Connor ship. Which we then see in Prodigy.
Yeah.
And actually in Lower Decks as a reuse.
It was probably turned into a lot of different ships, honestly, with that shape.
Oh yeah, but this is a different version, as in this is a bit more different.
Let's make the Millennium Falcon, but Star Wars or Star Trek it up. Um, lots of greeblies, and probably it's quite a small ship, honestly. It's a neat looking design. It's very freighter like, which I think is the point.
Yes.
So
He's just some guy, you know. He has a
it
freighter.
looks like it may be part of the same fleet as the Merchantman ships, with that back end.
It's definitely closer than a lot of the other ships, yeah. Okay, so I have a mild soft spot for this one because I like the stupid pipe.
Okay.
That's all that really the bottom is the freighter with painted differently with a few scratches and a giant pipe on one side and then a bit more going to the engine. It kind of has an interesting flow. I like the juxtaposition of the details. I like it feels lived in. I like and then okay, when you know the backstory, it makes sense. So I'm saying it because I know it, but it has more character than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yes, it could have had more interesting paint, but we're not necessarily meant to look at a clear picture of the minute model, 35, 40 years later and review it necessarily. But I mean, for me, this is a at least a D, possibly tucking into a low C, because I kind of like the pipe. I like how it changes the shape so much that it does change the view of it from a lot of the other freighters. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a high F. And the reason I say that is because we have to bump it up 3 slots. So I'll put it at B.
Okay.
There's no way this is A quality.
Okay.
I would have given it a D, but
well, okay then.
Two can play at this game, classic for real.
Well, I can't. I've got to be truthful to myself, Stuart.
That's real $10. Bump up the post refit Galaxy from All Good Things since it's Stuart's favorite ship. All right, so that's $5 for each level. So up to S, and then it goes all the way up to F, and then D. Cool. That's how that works, right? It's like asteroids. You go off the top and you come back around, right?
Canon.
Bump it up to S. It's fine. He didn't think I would let it go that high, but I really think it deserved an A. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Olivia Julius, $5. First Borg cube we see.
And they are different. The one without the lights.
There are no lights.
Slave. Isn't the Millennium Falcon technically a Star Trek ship?
No, that's because it's the first contact. But. Anyway, yes, Borg cube. I remember at the time thinking, wow, it's imposing and it's huge. Look at the size of it compared to the Enterprise. But
no, Sirless, it wasn't.
There's a lot of weird creepily detailing, but you wouldn't think the Borg well, I guess they're assimilating other ships. That's fine. It looked imposing. It looked scary. You didn't know what was what, and that's the kind of the point, right? So, and to see it slice out a big chunk of the Enterprise and just pull it out, it's like, oh man. And also, when it was chasing the Enterprise, it started regenerating and like fixing itself after they damaged it, kind of a la Christine, from Stephen King. So, yeah, this is iconic, and yeah, definitely, it was something to see just a ship that was a cube, So, and it stood the test of time.
Yes. So, of course, there are several cubes to pick from, right? And I want to specifically, reference, this is my least favorite cube because the least interesting cube. I don't know if you have anything to say about that. Okay.
No.
Because I find the one in best.
There's sounds going on around here that I got to mute because it's just annoying and distracting.
Yeah, it's fine. So it is, it's definitive and iconic, and it is far more bitty than future cubes, even though it's probably roughly the same. But the lack of lighting does annoy me because I know the grander logic of what's meant to be, and I think that really helps diversify the tone, the feel, the green, or the gentle whites and yellows. I think those are also interesting. You know, this is far more bitty. So it's my least favourite cube, which means I've got to leave room for cubes. But, of course, the first cube they face, and it is an imposing, horrific episode. So despite everything I just said, I have to give it an A, just for the episode, really. But not because it's not just design, right? It's this cube specifically is all of the things, but I want to leave a room for the other cube because a lot of people remember Best of Both Worlds more, and that's obviously their prerogative. Yeah. What do you think? How are you gonna?
I was gonna say A as well. So
okay.
Perfect. We're already there.
Super.
Classic for real, $5. USS Pegasus, but not the one in the damn rock. The one shown on the diagram this thing. Okay, so much better design. I wish they had a chance to build this for that episode, honestly. I don't know how to rank it though, because on coolness factor, it would probably be an A for me. I really like this design. This is way better than the Nebula class design, even though literally it's just a Ambassador class secondary hull, which is totally out of scale, stuck on. Well, just there's no neck, and then they just reconfigured the whole ship, so it's fine. But I prefer this to the Nebula class. The Nebula beside the Galaxy, this beside the Ambassador. All right, cool. I can get behind that. So, anyway, there you go.
See, this to me feels like a kit bash because it is a kit bash. It's bash.
It is,
and it's a good alternate, but I think it adds nothing to the Ambassador design because why not just use the Ambassador design? You've got all the same pieces.
Yeah.
You just lost one neck. Okay, then. How does that...
Guardians is stupid and don't want to think of it as the Enterprise C.
Now, normally in kit bashes, they'd like change the nacelles or anything. Like if they had an Excelsior body somehow. But it's not creative. And it would look cool on screen, but as soon as you like looked at it, you'd be like, oh, that is bottom barrel, cheap, non-unique. So I'm going to go hard D with this. Because yeah.
Also, we got to take into account that's not really in the episode. Sure, it's maybe on a bridge display, but
which I couldn't find. I looked, so because they're not on the bridge. I think they're in the engine room. I mean, give it an F as well. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like I say, and it's great to point it out. I love this as a thing. I love the sketch exists and so on. So on.
Yeah.
Someone put the effort in to draw an ambassador and then move its parts different. That's what it is. But yeah.
So it was in the same super chat with the same thing essentially, but the original concept art, yes. Schmobody, $5. Borg Type 3 TNG Descent 1 and 2 Lore Borg asymmetric thing. I think it's the first different Borg ship. It's big and weird. Yes. Come on. There you go. This baby. Awful episodes, but I kind of like this. As far as a Borg design, seeing something that's not just a geometric shape, it was interesting. And unfortunately, it suffered because of the episode that it's in. But it's cool. It's a cool design.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Oh, do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it is. Ironically, I remember it almost more from Armada, the video game, because it's, I believe it's the simulator in that. So you actually have is there for a purpose, right? I like it. I think it's very logical when you add the context of it's the Borg. If they have Borg nanoprobes, whatever, if they haven't got the connective tissue of the collective thought to design logically. So it's just kind of, well, we need transwarp engine drive. Let's add a new pod. Where? Left. Okay. Build. Right? So it's a very creative design. It does still read Borg, which is impressive given all they ever had was cubes, while still being super weird and different. So I think it's a very successful what they're trying to do. I'm thrilled this sort of high resolution picture of the model exists because it looks rather nice, and I appreciate the varied lighting colours. It's way too big. I mean, it is effing giant in the show. It's insane. I wish it was a lot smaller. But it is. I mean, it is cool. It stands out because they sort of fight as Enterprise D in the sun, but it's not that many shots. I sort of really remember from Armada and us as Trekyards. But design-wise, I put it higher because it's so weird and original. But no, well, what do you think? Oh,
I was thinking B for its design aesthetic, and wish it could have been used more.
Yeah, I was gonna say C, and I thought, well, no, it's in it more than the Pegasus, so it should be a B.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Indeed, Metro. I like the classic one.
Olivia, $5. I'll take the bait. USS Enterprise played a minor role in the series, barely seen.
Yeah. The Enterprise D. Not seen much. Crazy.
Oh, it's an S. It's Galaxy class.
Yeah, it's real pretty. It does all the winning things. It's in every episode. Several times in some episodes.
Yeah, you even see the sister ship, Yamato, and yeah. So yeah, it's an S.
It is a tremendous S. Possibly the best S of them all. Well deserved.
Classic for real, $5. I'll back up Olivia's last super chat with a ship we see way more of this Enterprise thing. The card's real ship, the Calypso. Ah, yes, the captain's yacht.
In every episode in the title sequence.
True, but it's hot garbage. I hate the design of this. It's so unoriginal and so ugly. It's just a typical UFO.
Ouch!
They ramped up their game with the Enterprise E's captain's yacht for sure. So this is just. I mean, the interior of it's interesting. It's like at 2 levels. It's probably very comfortable and cozy inside, and it's does what it says on the tin. It's a yacht, right? But at the same time, it's fucking ugly. So, and you never see it used. So,
yeah, a great missed opportunity. Yeah.
Would have been perfect for Captain's Holiday episode. Take that fucking thing to Ryza.
Although obviously it wasn't done because you have to have then built a custom version of the saucer at a giant scale.
Don't add it then. Don't say it's there.
Then, well, no one knew until you told them, right? No one would have guessed that was a captain's yacht. It's a goddamn oval, right? No one. There's no details, unlike the other ships. But it was a hugely expensive thing to do. They have to use it loads if they were going to. Now, it's fine. I would have loved if they had a unique shuttle. Because why is a captain's yacht attached to the ship separately? Why is that a thing? I don't know. If it'd just been a custom shuttle that he has access to only in the shuttle bay, you got enough space, right? Would have been great. I'm okay to give this an F because it has no legacy.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
But it is a really interesting oddity, and the fact it's not warp capable is interesting. I find anyway. And you guys are doing amazing, by the way. Thank you for the excellent suggestions. You guys be kicking the arse. Yeah. It really varied so far. Really, really varied. Like,
Shmobody, $5. Dare say Darcy archive. TNG masks. Weird episode. Interesting backstory. Really old and different than any other probe station encountered. You know what? I like masks. I don't know why people dislike it so much. But it's basically a space station that's designed to kind of look like skyscrapers in a city, and it does the job perfectly. So,
yeah,
I don't have much else to say about it, honestly.
I can't
it's
even
a cool
tell.
Design.
I can't even tell this is a miniature or CG because it might have been an early crappy TNG CG. Because this is a shot from the show, I think, and then I was like, what? Yeah, I'm confused by this. Yeah, it's exactly what it says on the tin. I like it's red. What can it do? Dunno. Can't do anything. Dunno. Right? Mm-hmm. We kind of see... do we see it again in lower decks? Or just the effects of it?
Don't see it in lower decks.
Yeah, they're unaffected and shit from masks. Thing is like, oh, another mask has happened or whatever, and they're unvining the corridors. and we see the captain with the mask on her face. So we do see it. I can't remember if there's like a exterior quickly with it.
There isn't.
But I'm gonna go F because it is not what you remember the episode for, and it's too close to the Section 31 base from Discovery. I do not want to give them credit for that. I'm sorry.
Perfect. Classic for real, $20. Bump up the erstwhile and the Haven ship. All right, we're going to put them in the classic for real category, which is always above S. So they're going to go right up there.
As we like to say, the Super S.
Sure. The classic.
And this is for real, just so you know.
Yep. So they're up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit peaky.
That nobody can see, and that's fine. All right. Classic for real, $5. Okay, just the Cheyenne class then. Ah, yes, the Cheyenne. Yeah, it's a big picture. I think this is one of the Wolf 359 fleet, isn't it?
Yeah, they built it and then destroyed it.
Yeah. Really weird out of scale windows, like super huge, which is odd. But I like the design overall. It's simple. It harkens back to the Constellation. It's got unique nacelles that I like. I just wish the window scale was a little bit more accurate. Not a bad ship overall.
Yeah.
Do we even see it in TNG that much at all? Even?
Just a wreck. I mean, these are all just a wreck, right? Yeah, it's original. It's amazing how much effort they put in. I mean, even if things are bloody, markers, hey, it's a cool shape that you tweak a few things, it feels Trek. I like how it is a sleeker version of Constellation. I see the lineage. Yes, the Saucer lets it down by being both too simple, too smooth, yes, fine. I would love if someone was doing a fan film to take the shape and themselves and just decide a scale for the saucer and flesh out properly. It would not take much when they say very good ship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want to be a bitch and say all 359 ships should be an F because you don't see them. Because design should also play a factor, right?
Yes.
What do you think?
Design-wise, I do like it. It was never really seen ever. So I'll give it a C. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a cool design.
Yeah, it makes me sad it's not going any higher because it's cool. But yeah, I feel that's the only way you can go with that. Yeah. Yeah. Not a bad thing, of course.
Ooh, we should do one of these rankings STO ships.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
That at C. All right, Corey Erickson, $5. Love the channel. A different one, Enterprise, the sailing ship in generations. Beautiful call out, nice. And thank you for loving the channel. We appreciate you guys.
We do. We would not be here without you, and you would not be here with us. So it's a wonderful synergy. Your thoughts?
It's a schooner. It's the Enterprise. It's nice. Looks beautiful. It's a cool callback. I fucking don't know what to say or where to put it on the chart, unfortunately, just because it's cool that it's a part of the Enterprise legacy, and it's cool to see it. Sure, we saw the Enterprise in Star Trek 4, even though that was the USS Ranger, but that's fine. We kind of got all the Enterprises at some point, I guess. So this was a nice touch, but I don't know where to rank it.
So I always find when I see these shots, it makes me just think they wasted so much money on the sequence they're going to put to the movie. Oh, we haven't got enough money to make Frakes a custom new DS9 uniform. We have to share Avery's. but we have money to blow on a giant sequence. Everyone gets full custom naval uniforms that only used in like 4 minutes of the film that doesn't matter in any way, but not his main uniform. So it always kind of annoys me the money they spent on this when they should have done it for the real film.
The reason they did that was because a lot of the movie-going viewers necessarily didn't see the series, so they wanted to kind of show off, hey, this is the holodeck. This is what a holodeck is. That's what I think. So I don't think it was money wasted. I think it was just...
Well, for me it is. That's what I'm saying. For me, I find this a money wasted kind of situation.
And nobody cares about
your opinion. Okay, goodbye then.
So where would you rank it on the chart?
Yeah, so it's one of those annoyance ones. But it is a memorable, of course, sequence. It's so random. I would imagine there are, a few... They can see land in every direction because they're not actually out to sea, except in a couple of... It's all clever. It's all clever creative filmmaking as to the angles. I do love seeing the holodeck arch appear on a bloody boat. That's a really cool visual. But how many people think of this ship when they think Generations? Maybe the scene, but there's stuff in it. Data of Beverly falling or the costumes. I'm sure a lot of people would forget it's meant to be the Enterprise. It's just, on a sailboat. I forgot the Enterprise. Makes sense, but you have remembered. I would go D because it is memorable more than lots, but it is not beyond that for me. Would have made more sense in the TV show to have like a 2-part where they have scenes on the boat. I don't know.
Well, they definitely didn't have the budget to do that on the TV show, unfortunately.
No, but I mean as their major spend. If it's a bottle show plus boat, they would have had the budget, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Twain, the Whoopi's actor, the 2 parts are expensive. They would have been,
JW, $5. The Iridian destroyer from the Chase episode, completely destroyed by one phaser, which was weird, but quite a nice design for the one scene it's in. Iridian destroyer. Is that this top thing?
Maybe.
This one?
I'm trying to keep up.
This one?
Yes.
I have no idea what that is. I've never seen it before in my life. And why is it on sand?
Oh, well, this is so in the show. The purple's kind of lost color-wise. But this is the miniature. I think it's for Richter. Comes like, hey, look, the actual model. Never made by Eaglemoss because it's too obscure. It's like 2 episodes of what's it like? I think it's once in Voyager, and then once in TNG.
Never seen it before, so enough.
Okay. Well, let me.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't recognize this at all.
Okay, let me find the episode then instead.
If you want.
And it's in DS9 too.
I'll give. Really?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, just give me a chance to tell everybody to hit like if you haven't already. 52 likes, which is great. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for super chatting your ships in.
Okay, here's a less clear view, but here's the shot from the episode. There you go.
Okay. Still don't remember it, but okay.
I couldn't tell you what episode it's from, so let's find out. The Chase.
Yeah, that's what it said in the super chat.
Okay, so they fight something called the Iridians at some point. Oh, are these the guys that are trapped between the professor, maybe? I mean, it's a great design. And the minute shot was awesome. I think it's really cool. I'm shocked it doesn't come back almost ever, because it's a really original looking piece of whatever. But definitely, Stuart, I think you're right. The fact that it is unmemorable beats so much. Despite being so cool. Yeah.
Looks like it's the same fleet as the White Star, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Classic for real, $10. Don't forget the most important Starfleet ships of TNG, the Miranda and Excelsior. Where would TNG be without them? There's the Miranda. Not a huge player in TNG. At least this version. It more so in Deep Space Nine. I'll give it a C. The Excelsior classes play a little bit bigger part.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely we don't want to use the Excelsior. Let's use the Miranda. Is the conversation they've had, right? And it's very often it's a ship that the Excelsior was so, I mean, it was a lot newer in fairness and a lot bigger, so it could have a lot more tech. That this is obviously so old by TNG that they are often relegated to non-Federation or non-Starfleet. So it's so old that it's a civilian ship most of the time. Rarely is it ever used beyond that. And in fact, sometimes we see it specialty are in the Cause and Effect, or it's a special version, but it's an old version, right? But yeah, in TNG, it's rarely ever given much love, even though it's a hard model to work with. It's a hero model. Could on any episode with it being major. I guess C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, there's a couple more interesting Mirandas which might come up.
Well, yeah, there's the
Soyuz?
variants. There's the variants of them. Yeah, the Soyuz and stuff like that, which I think we see more of. They tried to change it.
Was
for
Soyuz
TNG.
Batesman?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Hmm.
Which doesn't have the roll bar, which is different. So, yeah. And then also the Excelsior, what she said. So, the Excelsior is basically, or the Excelsior class was basically used. Actually, going by his super chat, the Excelsior was never seen in TNG, so it's an F. Just kidding. This is basically used to shuttle around admirals to the ship. You see it a few times.
Yes, the hood beeth all.
Yep, they like their hood. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's always got a grace in TNG, which is nice, you know. But really, are there any sexies of it? It's always in the back.
Well, sometimes it's in the foreground and then it peels off.
True. Yeah, true. It is the absolute workhorse of the fleet. It feels that way. I want to give it a B because I think it has a much larger brand recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I like the class. It you know, it would be nice to have one episode with it more of the hero. Would have been kind of cool, but it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think B is fine.
Yeah.
Looks like one shot. It's fine. All right. Classic for real, $10. Rasmussen's time ship. Such amazing detail. Only beat by an Enterprise shuttle pod. Hey, let's add the Enterprise D shuttle pod too. All right. So here's Rasmussen's ship. Yeah, what's the cheapest thing we can do? Let's just stick shit on our current shuttle and cover it up. But make it look all future-y by having it holographic, like, whoo. No, it's an interesting design, but there's nothing special about it, really.
Ouch.
For me, it's a D.
You bitch slapped it, didn't you?
I'm just going to put it out there. It's a D.
Okay. Question. How many time pods in TNG?
1.
How many time pods in all of Trek?
A few.
Like 3? Dedicated time pods? How good is that episode?
This was a great episode.
And how great is the ending when there are twists as he's seeing stuff in what's they'll deal later? I think this should be at least a high C because everything about it is memorable, except the design.
I've been told.
But the design is still cool, and the full prop. They could be, well, I don't know, easy, but yeah, I think it's one of the crazy, weird, fun ones. It does feel sci-fi futuristic because it's a reflective thing with. It's cool.
And the Type 15 shuttle pod, which structurally only has that bottom piece, so that it can sit right on the fucking floor. Otherwise, it shouldn't have that. Also, there wouldn't be enough room in it. Plus, there's only 2 like car seats in it, and like the back is like right here for some reason.
Sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. It's an odd one. It's
an odd duck, yeah.
It's
Ooh.
used quite a lot, but I don't know. Never the biggest fan of it, honestly.
So I really liked this ship after starting using Trek shorts. It's so relatable because it is the size of the prop, Everything about it is what it is. There's no like, oh, it accidentally hides this. No, this is the size of the ship. And you know, because there it is, right? So it's kind of charming in that regard. Yes, I always amuses me the pod at bottom is just because it has to physically whatever. And you are very within your rights to not add that if you're doing a 3D model, because it looks dumb with it in some ways.
Yeah, totally.
But it's kind of cool, and some great shots seeing it through it. It's definitely a hero shuttle. I mean, it's way more hero shuttle than the bigger shuttle, because I guess they didn't build for the physical version, so it gets points over that. It's original TNG. It's not just the Star Trek 5 shuttle cut up, so it gets original points there. And, you know, the Data episode's iconic. There's another one I can't remember that's iconic where it's in. Oh, the Picard shooting himself on it. I kind of think it's a D, just because this is a shuttle that is so memorable while also being kind of dumb. Yeah. Can't hear you and your very clever words.
All I said was, this is kind of a representation of the show's budget early on.
Yeah. But you know, TOS could have made it as well, probably. Give or take. Maybe not necessarily the inside. But it's kind of just represents a different art style.
All right, moving on. Schmobuddy, $5. Talarian warship, TNG, suddenly human. Its X-wings give it a really different vibe from the other Kit Bash aliens of the week ship.
Yep.
Yeah,
time was shifted for a week and a half.
Definitely had a interesting look to it, and was reused multiple times, just changing things or whatever. But yes, this isn't the X-wing version.
Nope, there are variations within variations.
I'll give it a C.
Yeah, I kind of wish they used this one more. Because it's cool. But it also, for whatever reason, this one isn't the same... It's not for me the same oomph as the Packard version. It's used a lot more. But this is, I think, arguably a nicer design with more elegance. Maybe the model wasn't built as much, so therefore they didn't get as close. I don't know. It feels more vanilla, even though it's more interesting in a lot of ways. What did you say for your score again, sorry?
C.
Yes. I would agree. Yes. I think it's a C because it's not a D.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how I have to judge, because it's like what's in the other category.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Classic for real, $5. The aircraft carrier Enterprise as seen in Picard's ready room wall. Well, there is no aircraft carrier on his ready room wall, so that's a no.
Okay.
If you want to say the briefing room, he's talking specifically about the gold one that's half of a ship that's put against the wall. We're not talking about the aircraft carrier.
Well, okay then. This will be an F, because you never think of that.
It would be an F, yeah. I mean, it's a poor representation of the aircraft carrier, honestly. Classic for real, $5. The most obvious ship of TNG, the Enterprise C. Well, yes, that is one we had ready to go. Did make an appearance, and it was cool to see the other, ship in the Enterprise lineage. Everybody's going to complain and whine now that it's not Andrew Probert's version, but that's fine. I think Rick did a fantastic job with this, and I really prefer this Ambassador class to the other one. So, yeah, and one of the best episodes of Star Trek. Definitely my top 10 of all Star Trek episodes. It's definitely way up there by the top, if not at it's in the top 5 for sure. That'd be a hard list to make. But anyway, it's a great ship. And I hated this design for so many years. I thought it looked kind of stupid. And then I actually built the model, which I have behind me here. And it just, once I held it, it's like, wow, this is great. This is the epitome of what Starfleet design is. And the perfect transitional stage between the original Constitution class and like the Enterprise D, in my opinion. because it's got all the simple basic shapes. Everything's proportioned nicely. The nacelles are a little close to the saucer, but it's fine. I think it works. Yeah, I really like the ship. So high marks for me.
Yeah, it is boxy than the Galaxy, but it's curvy in some ways than the Ambassador. It's a fun hybrid, and I do appreciate it. And have worked with Matt Boardman's Ambassador, which I really like the model. It has a lot of charm. In my fan film with Nim playing Keeley on the sea, at least talk about the sea, I had to do it like a maneuver that was just, went like this, and it felt just cool enough. There's a higher maneuver, but it's just doing this. But it felt big, and it was really cool to see and have it fly by. There's a lot of depth to it, which is nice. I mean, obviously, it could be an S jerk because it is, everyone talks about the sea. Everyone talks about the SS Enterprise. The bridge was a brand new for that, and that was then reused. And it's, it's undying. Unending legacy to the franchise, and horribly never talked about really again until Picard with Richard Garrett. And unfortunately, it's going to be talked about as in Garrett again in 31. That'll hurt her character for sure. But excellent ship, classic, for real.
Funny.
Thank you.
Schmobuddy, $5. USS Bozeman, TNG Soyuz class. The most different Miranda ever given screen time. Would have been cooler if they were face cannons instead of sensors. I agree. Out of all of the Miranda class variants, this is not my favorite, though. I just prefer the Miranda class over this. That addition of that middle part in the back just feels clunky to me.
Wait, clunky or McClunky?
Just clunky. We're not in Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, it made a good ship uglier. So it's gonna get some words deducted for me.
Is it gonna be the bitch slapped? So I like the idea of this ship in general, that it feels specialist, and by extending the back pod so radically, it tells you it's doing something unique. Obviously, it looks like a hyper gunboat, and the top things are mirrored on the bottom. So, if they are cannons, it's a freaking powerful phaser, torpedo, whatever gunboat. To have them not be that is confusing as hell, because they clearly were just kit bashed gun parts. Okay, but it works for me personally. I like it, and I could definitely see the same arrangement, but with, honestly, torpedo pods on all the different new pylons. Just swap out, and then you've now got a four more pew-pews or other things. Not sure what else, but other things. Maybe 4 shuttle bays or 2 shuttle bays and 2. Don't know. It changes the profile so much, but it's super minimally seen, or seen the same way again and again. You really only get to appreciate. I think it was over-designed for what you see in the episode. It could easily be a Miranda, and no one was going to question it. To fresh is cool. I would personally give it a low C, because we do talk about it as being in the episode. But yes, I can be fine with that.
I would give it a D, because it's got to be lower than the Miranda class, in my opinion.
But it's the Miranda's use in the series as well. This is a more unique use case than just freighter number 7. True.
Fine, I'll put it in low C, almost D.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a multivariate analysis.
Is it though? Okay. Guardian Sage, $5. The best TNG era starship design is definitely the Romulan to Derridex class warbird. Dun dun dun. Oh, I gotta make this go to the back because I fucking hate Google Slides. Anyway, dun dun dun.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah, this is a S tier right off the hop.
Giant.
Change the Romulan aesthetic, and it's it set the standard, and we didn't know the size. It was a mystery ship. Looking at all those windows in the front, pretty big. That negative space, learning that it has a quantum singularity drive. I could go on and on and on. Also designed by Andrew Probert for the first season. So there you go. S tier.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how tiny windows are. It feels like a giant skyscraper as a bird beak with eyes. Skeletal. A lot of visuals are happening here. I've always loved the daft spotlight in the middle. What's it illuminating? But it's always fun to see that light just be. Yeah, of the plumage, the negative space. I love that the logic is that this ship could be 1/10 the size if it was just condensed into a starship size. But they said, no, we want to, be really good to everybody who looks at us. Let's just build a ship around a non-ship, a hole, a middle. That'll make it giant. Okay, how does that serve? It just makes us bigger. Right. Thanks, Jeff. Good job. But it makes sense, right? I get it. It makes sense. So it's fun. Obviously, an S is one of the best Trek ships, and that is definitively Trek, but not interesting, but simple, detailed, but not over detailed because it's so giant. And yet, every time it appears, for the most part, it makes a statement in TNG. Yeah.
That was chills down your spine to hear one decloak and to see it appear before you. So.
Yeah.
Classic for real, $5. We need to add a real Nebula, and I do believe that rounds out the all the more than just best of both worlds Starfleet ships. Ah, yes, the real Nebula. Well, what a winner, chicken dinner. I've said my piece on this earlier. Do you want to jump in first, and then I'll jump off yours?
Yeah, I love the variant of the deflector because it is not. There are two versions of the Nebula, of course. There's the CGI version, which is just literally a modular version Enterprise D from Generations, which is the one we see in Voyager. This is actually an original miniature, fully scratch built with the original deflector. I really like the way they did. I like the roll bar quite a lot. The original version and the AWACS is pretty good. It's a very kit bash yet not version of the Enterprise D with a lot of the reusability factor, and with the main roll bar that you see in Generations, it's a well balanced ship that looks rather nice. Tiny ass impulse engines, but that's neither here nor there. No, it's a very cohesive alternate, which also is an Intel reference to the Miranda, so it gets double points for referencing the Trek canon as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it could have been better. It could have been designed and thought out a little bit more and kind of molded a bit differently to kind of be more cohesive, in my personal opinion. But it is iconic for TNG, and I personally want to give it an A.
Yes. Yeah. It's not in it a ton, but it's one of those ships that when it turns up, it's very much okay. The Enterprise D isn't gonna just outshoot this thing. It's not our equal necessarily, but this is a high-end captain doing a high-end thing, and we've got a problem to solve. A lot that comes from DS9 as well. That's TNG fights Kardassians, but yeah, it's a noteworthy one.
Perfect. All right. Next up, we've got Matt Yarrington, $5.
Thank you so much.
New Orleans class. The look of the D, but in a more compact size and classic layout. My perfect ship, minus the ventral pod. Come on, let's go.
Also one only given alive from Eagle Moss and the custom 3D models. Although I still remember the day Rick put these up, and I was like, whoa! And that gave Eagle Moss millions of dollars. Better replicate these accurately.
Yeah, this one has legit highlighters stuck on it, but
And they look great.
I don't mind them. I was just gonna say I don't mind the look of them. A friend of mine, Michael Wiley, like built one of these for Wonderfest quite a few years ago, and got to see it in person. It's like, did you use the highlighters? Yep, literally used the same highlighters, and it looked fantastic. So, and yes, I agree with the whole statement of more compact size and classic layout. I do love the struts on this. I like the overall look of it. Could have done without the pods on top, but I like the addition of them. I think it's interesting. And again, it suffers from window scale problems. But other than that, it's a pretty awesome design.
Yes, but this, unfortunately, it was not seen on screen in any meaningful way. You would never know what it looked like from the show. You wouldn't even know which ship it was. It's entirely based on Eagle Moss, so it's got to be an F. Unfortunately, it pisses me off because I've used it in several Trek shorts. I really like using it. I like it from so many angles, but it has no legacy from the show itself, and only the media after it. That annoys me.
I mean, if we can put the Cheyenne at C, we could bump this one to a D.
Fuck. Okay, C then, because yeah, this is absolutely as good as the Cheyenne. In terms of it works for me.
Well, I didn't say C. I said D.
Oh, I would say C. You're right. If I'm going for design as well, then it should be as good
Oh,
as the
the
Cheyenne.
design would be much higher.
But since this to Cheyenne because it's more logical.
But we never see it ever.
Or the Cheyenne, of course.
The other one, I believe we see a schematic of it. Maybe, I don't know. We can bump the Cheyenne down.
Yes.
Yeah, let's bump it down to D. Let's bump it down to D.
R.I.P.
Because this is about their context in TNG. That's kind of what this whole thing's about. So.
Yep.
But design-wise, for me, this one's above his Cheyenne class.
Yes.
Hands down.
Even though it's less original, it's more cohesive.
Yes. ISFJ 1009, $5. I've always loved the Romulan warbird, even without Andrew Probert's impulse engines. LOL. Yes.
Look, they're so big you don't even need to see them.
That's what that white light is in the middle. It's it thrust vectors impulse plasma out, and I don't know. We figured it out. Woo-hoo.
Is it do with quantum, Stuart?
Sure. Yes.
With quantums. Yep.
Classic for real, $5. Wolf 359 had a Miranda without a roll bar, but with huge ass phaser cannons. Maybe Stuart likes that better. I think the first officer is important too.
It's not in TNG though, is it?
Which one is that? This Picard Museum one?
Yes. It ain't in TNG, it's in DS9.
I do like it better than the Soyuz class, 100%. I don't like it better than the Miranda though.
Well, no, it's a Miranda with stuff on the sides.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and the roll bar missing. That balances out the Miranda, right? So.
Yeah, but the Miranda is not roll bar default. The roll bar is an addition. It was annoying to take it off, right? But it's not in TNG, so F by definition.
Yep.
But it's kind of cool. They are ray guns though, even though they're not.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of band account, $2. United Federation of Planets Niagara class, hashtag Wolf359, hashtag never forget. And then he's got another one, not a band account, $2, the Star Trek, the animated series Aqua Shuttle. That's not in any way TNG, so we're not even going to put it on here. Sorry.
Yes.
Read the room and the title.
Yes.
All right, Niagara class. This is.
Wait, are all the ships on the graph TNG? Oh, that's weird. Why is that? That was very. Theme.
This is a 3 nacelle design, which you can't tell from this picture.
Yes.
I would think you would think I would rather like this one. This shot's not too bad. I wish I would have changed the way that lower strut was kind of. But the shot's not too bad. Overall, though, I'm not a huge fan of the design, even though it is a 3 nacelle. Stuart, you like all three? I don't. I don't like all 3 nacelles just because they have 3 nacelles. That's not the point. Anyway, put that nacelle on the top, and then we got something to talk about. But the way it is, Niagara class, not too great. We don't see it really in TNG. We see a part of its hull in the wreckage, and yeah, it has a lot to like with that secondary hull. You know, very Ambassador class-ish, but kind of drops the ball a little bit.
I'm so sorry, but because you don't see it in TNG, it's definitionally 0. I'm so sorry.
Yep. Anything to say about the design, though?
It's weird. I like it, although you can see from this render, there's some broken polygons because you can see through the nacelle into the secondary hull. Because this is just an ortho from a book, Eagle Moss, but they obviously didn't fix render. I like the stone model. I've used it once or twice. It's super unbalanced, because of course it is. And having the nacelle on the bottom is not very... It doesn't work that well. Like, it works well, it doesn't work that well. But yeah, definitionally it's that low. But I do like it. Honestly, I'm fine without third nacelle and just having the weird juxtaposition of parts with the 2 nacelles. The shapes are actually quite different. The way they come together to feel different, as is. Yeah.
It's a cool design, and design-wise, it might be higher, of course, but because it is not really seen at all in the show, it's going to be an F.
You would not recognize it unless you were shown it after the fact.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Classic Friel throws in another 5, though, and says, I want to suggest a Cardassian ship, but that's DS9, so probably F anyway, but Galor class. The Galors make an appearance in TNG.
They're invented for that, yeah.
Yeah, so, no. We'll throw up a Galor class and put it in there.
Was the Keldon? Pretty sure Keldon's from TNG.
Keldon is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whabam in the space battle we had to review once. By space battle, I mean this shot.
Yeah.
Which amuses me greatly. Just because, you know, TNG.
I mean, let's introduce the new baddie that we had a war with a while ago. The Kardassian border skirmishes. I don't think they thought the ship was going to get a lot of use necessarily, but they took the time to design one and put it in. They didn't really focus on Cardassian stories in TNG too much, but thankfully DS9 came along and they just got a whole new life. We saw a bunch of these, and yeah, it's a very unique, interesting design, interesting color palette. The Cardassians are themselves quite interesting. So yeah, there you go. The Enterprise is teaching it a lesson here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty great. It is, you know, one of those classic TNG OG. We're going to invest in making a nice model, make it nice and detailed, not over detail it, but not under detail it. I really like the pointed glow elements that kind of have their own fun life, etc. It does stand out a lot in TNG, of course, because there's so few hero villain ships. You got the Decora, you've got the Deredex, you've got this, and the Borg Cube. Is there many else? I don't really think so, because the rest are one-offs or reuse or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, for legacy factor, it's at least an A for me, because it is so definitive, even though the Deredex, you feel like they're a toe-to-toe. This feels like it's not toe-to-toe, it's we need 2 to be toe-to-toe, but 1 could be a big grr fight, right? That's how I approach it. You know, 2 would easily or 3 would annihilate the galaxy, 2 would be a big battle, 1 would be, yeah, that'd be fine. That's why
should we really count the legacy factor in TNG though?
I mean, it's in like 6. I mean, it's in plenty. It's more than most. It's just
okay. That's fair.
I mean, is it in TNG more than DS9? As in physical miniature, it won't become CG as in giant fleets. Like as a hero, I wonder.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe as a hero.
I'll put it at A.
Yeah, I think it needs to be an A. Yeah, 7 TNG, 20 DS9, 2 Voyager.
Yeah.
Although Chain of Command, parts 1 and part 2. So
yeah,
and Parallels, it's on a monitor. So really, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 unique stories.
Wow. Yeah. Schmo Buddy puts in $5. Klingon Vor'cha, TNG's new D7.
Yes. Very much so. And I'm pretty sure it came out with Redemption. Or was it a bit earlier than that and it came... And it might have been come earlier than that.
That's a very good question.
Because it might have come in randomly with Galor being like, hey guys. And then it'd been in the other episode more. I think it might have been that. Knowing it was going to be in Redemption.
Don't know. We will get that up for you in a second, Small Buddy. In the meantime, go vote on the... actually, I'm going to end the poll. We have 102 votes. Which era of starship designs do you prefer? TNG wins, because we're talking about them, I guess, 75%. TOS comes in at 12% in second place. Enterprise at 8% in third place. And last place is Strange New Worlds with 6%. We like our audience today. You guys know what's up.
But of course, had Voyager been in it, hopefully it would have been a different equation.
That's TNG, though. It's all the same era.
Oh, well, I argued definitely it wasn't, but okay. That's basically every ship in canon, then. Okay.
I was just talking ship designs, like, for the Federation, so I threw in Strange New Worlds to see what people would say.
Strange New Worlds is just TOS, though.
It's not, though, clearly. Because TOS fucking thrashed it in that poll, so... I mean, thrashing's a little bit much, but...
Annihilated with vengeance?
It was just a little more than double the amount of votes, so double's pretty good. Anyway, 62 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. 47 of you here. If you're just joining us, by all means, hit the like button. We appreciate it. We appreciate you.
We do. We really
and
do.
I'd like to hit those likes up to maybe 70.
75?
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so the Vor'cha. It is the new D7, and it was a mean beast when we saw it. It's like, wow, you took the D7 and did something new and cool with it. Very impressive. I wish we would have seen more of it, honestly. We didn't see hardly any of it.
Yep.
I mean, even in DS9, it gets a few moments here and there, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more D7s and Katingas. I mean, in DS9. I mean, that's one of the things with the Klingons. If it ain't fixed, if it ain't
fixed, don't break it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great design. And I think should probably be an A tier at least, maybe even S possibly. But again, it's not seen very much in TNG, so I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, that was my big thing I was going to add to this, is that we associate it because it's cool, but as if they don't have confidence in it. It's very...
Which is weird.
Weird. And it's very quickly overshadowed by Negvar, because this feels like a logical, cool, for the new generation. Negvar's like, hey guys... I'm the big boy. Have you seen my big new everything? And then comes in DS9. But this is not much in TNG. Very little in DS9. And I'm always reminded of that incredibly pathetic being attacked by two other Klingon ships and fires out one little ball at the front. And that's their big weapon. It's like, oh, is that all you could do? It's very impressive. It's a good job. Like, it never does battle. You know? Connie.
Do you think A is appropriate if we're taking a legacy factor?
Oh. Can I see what's in A and B?
Nope. Hold on. Fucking Let's go. Delay, delay, delay.
So it ain't no Borg cube. It's in it less than the Nebula. It's in it way less than Galor.
Throw it in B then.
Oh, yeah, I feel like Excelsior level with a bit more sexiness, but man, it's right there. It's like touching A, but okay, how many times is it in the episode?
Good question.
I don't know. I'm gonna get. Okay, how many are you gonna guess? How many in TNG?
How many times in TNG? 3.
Yeah, I was gonna guess 4. Well, fuck us then. 7 plus a painting, 8. 18 times DS9. Okay, the CG version. Okay, fine. 1 in Voyager, Unity. Okay, and in Zati Prime, Enterprise. It's one of the dumb fleet.
Oh my god, it just annoys me.
Yeah. Well, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? We just had that conversation.
Sure. All right, there you go. Now it's classic for real. Throws in $20. I wish I could suggest Negvar, but that's DS9. Anyways, the Klingon ships that attacked the past year and all good things. Let's throw in the Vor'cha 2. And the most important Klingon TNG ship, Vertebrae and Katinga.
Well, I try to find Katinga in TNG. It ain't. So, not including that. It ain't. Alert. But I do like your joke. Yes, the Negvars you can't include.
It is. It is, isn't it? It's in the episode where Worf and...
The stock footage. Yes.
Yeah.
So I googled it. It didn't come up. And you're right. It isn't a real ship. It's a stock footage one time. Yes. Okay, well done.
Yeah. All right, so... The Negvar.
Specifically, the one-time all good things Negvar with the pointy tusks, because that's this variant.
That gets frickin' annihilated by a phaser lance. I mean, it's again a cool design. Wish could have been seen more. It kind of gets its ass handed to it a little bit in that episode. I don't think it should be as high as the Vor'cha, honestly. Just because of the appearances, there's just not that many. So, but I don't want to give it too low either. Oh my god. I will give it a... Come on, let me look at the chart. There we go. It'll have to be a C then. I don't know. We haven't heard Sam's thoughts on it yet.
Future Negvar. Yes. It's so cool in DS9. It's a bitch in TNG.
Yep, that's a good way to put it.
And it works in... Does it even... It was probably invented for It's probably invented for TNG, but it was only used in DS9. Because I don't think we're at Where the Warrior yet. I feel like it was probably invented for this. I don't know. Because you would want to do something like that to symbolize. But I like the fact that I like the logic that we brought the unexpected cannon play to a normal ship fight, and it makes sense, right? A piercing blast, going through. But it's in one episode in like 3 shots. Oh well, okay, past at the start. It has a oddly lack of character in those episodes. It just feels like a cool big ship. So I'd give it a D based on how it's utilized. Design-wise would be higher, but the way it's used, and you are able to forget it's in TNG because it's in an alternate future in 2 scenes and a bitch. Unless it's attacking, a medical ship. Cowards!
Yeah. Hey, ooh, yeah.
I mean...
Oh, the gauntlet has been thrown. Klingons, come do your worst. Sam has threatened you. Insulted your honor.
What honor? Yeah. But it's a great design, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's rough when we do these lists. It's like, a lot of these would be higher, for sure.
But it's interesting. That's why these are really interesting versions.
So we'll throw in his...
Bob.
Bird of Prey next.
Which is a lot used. That is got to be one of the most used ships in
It's
TNG.
yeah, and it's going to be an S tier. First seen in Star Trek 3, but really used to its max in TNG, and multiple ones, even decloaking behind the Enterprise to help out. Like, there's a lot of really great, memorable shots with the Bird of Prey. So, yeah, that's an S tier.
Only seen 12 times, though. Vor'cha was seen about as many. DS9, 27, but the CG version, of course. Oh, wait, great. It was seen at Ephraim and Dot. Yeah, shut up. Go away. Don't care. Thanks, Memory Alpha. No, it's wonderful. And yes, this is it feels like a really fleshed out ship in TNG. You know, they built the set for TNG that becomes the Bird of Prey bridge in DS9, the one we associate. So this is where the legacy of the design comes from. It's not the Sonic 3 or 2, and then 4 or 5 uses the set of TNG. So it really is a TNG ship, as you say, brought into this, whatever. The fact that you get cavorts and Bird of Prey is excellent. It feels menacing in some episodes. It feels like a nothing in some episodes. They did a really good job at doing all of them. And because they knew going in, it's like our best miniature that's ready to be filmed. Let's use it. It never gets old, which is impressive. And DS9, it feels like a small fighter almost all the time. Here it's given a bit of legacy of strength and big. Yes, absolutely an S. Tremendous use of Bird of Prey.
Yes.
Yep, there's a lot of love. And just the fact that seeing Riker on it as a hero ship in one episode, that instantly gives it... That would give it an A just by that one episode, right? Because it's such a good use case.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And then the Katinga, which was in one episode.
F. Stock footage. Not even interesting. Sorry.
I'd give it a D. Because that's a very memorable episode to have these...
But not this...
Klingons.
Not, I couldn't remember those Katingas in it, right?
I did, instantly. It was so great seeing that on screen. Are you kidding? I'll give it a D.
Okay.
Sorry.
Why is there no new shots of it? I don't get why they never used it. They had the model. It was there. I guess it's too.
They made that for it in Deep Space Nine.
For sure, but would have been cool.
Yeah. All right. Jonathan Earl, $5. USS Franklin NX 326. Love the simple antique design without the secondary hull. Beautiful and sleek. That is not a TNG ship.
Ooh, that appeared in Star Trek Beyond, the film. By
Nothing to do with TNG at all.
No.
So sorry, Jonathan.
But thanks.
Mark Lawrence, $5. How about a runabout, especially the aft section? All right. All right, so overused, well, not overused, but used very well in Deep Space Nine. Was that the only episode it was in
Yup.
Yeah, and that's the only time we see the back part, the roomy, like, living space. There was many scenes that could have been filmed back there for Deep Space Nine instead of in the front cockpit.
Probably over a dozen.
Easily.
At least.
So this gets a special kind of place for being able to see that back area and having a nice table back there and a little workstation, and just, it was cool to see. And those back windows, I mean, it's got to have a little bit of a special place. Oh my goodness. Plus that's a fantastic episode as well. And we actually referenced it earlier in this live. He just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic.
And Jonathan, if you have an alternate pin, please put it in. We're basically finishing out the new ones. If you want to put one in, absolutely let us know. Yeah, I mean, it's a really strong appearance. For what is one time, it feels fast and sleek and advanced. You really feel the space, which is kind of rare for the Runabout. It's always kind of limited to its... We're in the Runabout again. It's great. And it's... Yeah, it's shocking they didn't use it more. They could have. I'm guessing somebody thought it was overused in DS9. But it's like... How many times do I complain about, we're taking a shuttle. Yeah, great, Warp 3. This is like a Warp 6.5. It's actually not that much faster, but it is exponentially faster, but not that fast. And having done a story with the Runabout and time and distance, I think it took me 6 hours to go 0.9 light years. Like, it's not fast if you want to do one day, but if you're given 3 days, they can travel further.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for its appearance in TNG, I want to give it a B.
Yes.
Because it got special points for, even though it was only one episode, showing the back.
But it really was the hero of that episode in semblance of it stood out. And as you said, it's now a common annoyance that we all say, for God's sake, why didn't you use the set you already paid to build and do?
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I need to talk to somebody about that because it bothers me.
Back in time, bitch that. I mean, even just, all the scenes that were in the front, just same scene, don't change a damn thing, just have it in the back for no particular reason, just difference.
Yep.
And it's not even that interesting, but it's a cool table.
Not a band account, $5, a Ferengi Marauder Decor class, the enemy that may eat you, countered Farpoint, Starfleet's new biggest threat in a backwards ship. I don't know why you say it's a backwards ship, but
I mean, you could fly it backwards. And yes, also they did use a runabout in DS9 or in Voyager. Sorry for that one episode.
If you fly it backwards, it just becomes a Kardassian ship, though. That's the sad part.
Shh, Rick is listening.
Anyway, yeah, I love it articulates too. Like the wings go down and the head kind of goes down into a more submissive kind of look. They did it once. Broke the mechanisms. They never used it again. Not even when they could. They could have done that in Prodigy. They could have. Anyway, what's fine.
And how subtle was that movement, Stuart?
Super subtle.
Yep.
Barely noticeable.
Barely an inconvenience. What? Yeah, this is obviously used a lot. It has a varied set of appearances, from being a cargo ship to being a negative assault force. Obviously, this episode. With Hathaway, where it comes in and fires, is a great shot. Pew 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 comes in, looks mean. It's kind of a Nebula scale. We know it's big, and of course the back is all just a big storage unit. Basically, this thing can hold treasure. The implied detail that we of course know that on the bottom there is a aero shuttle captain's yacht style auxiliary craft, which would have been great to have seen. That's awesome. Lovely miniature, great choice of color. I mean, Andrew again knocked it out of the park. But it's always slightly lacking for me. Slightly. There's I guess a slight disconnect between it and something else. I don't know. I want to give this an A, because I don't think it reaches the S spot for several tiny reasons. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I might be a bit harsh, but I feel that's...
No, it's fine. We got to kind of start moving along now.
Yes.
Because we're getting at the end. So.
Yep, classic. There's the last one. With a clever one as well.
Sussy Guru 2000, $5. If the movies count, the Scimitar from Nemesis, the movies do count, yes.
Yeah, TNG movies, after all. That counts.
Sadly, I think this is probably an S tier. Just because... Well, I hate this design. It's not my favorite ship. But I think for its presence and importance in that movie, all the things it could do, all the weapons it had, being able to fire while cloaked, having the... I just forgot what it was now.
Thaleron cannon.
Thaleron, yeah, weapon. It absolutely deserves an S tier, in my opinion, anyway. And it is an interesting enough design, very kind of bat-like. So, yeah, I definitely give it an S.
With a slight grumble.
Yep.
No,
it's very talked about. So.
Yeah, and it's obviously a movie villain or villain movie ship, which there are only a couple of, and it certainly beats out sonar ships for wow factor. So that obviously is gonna be awesome. No, Lazarus, it was a runabout. It was a Yellowstone custom runabout with custom things.
Yeah, the Yellowstone has like a weapons pod on top.
Yeah, custom. No, yeah, I think it should be an S because it is so specific and it does almost kill the ship, and it does kill Enterprise E ostensibly. So much money went into the design, practically, etc. Yeah, I think S is deserved.
All right, Sussy Guru, that's the last one. because we don't want to get overrun.
I already said the last one, so you cheeky son of a...
Yeah. But delay, maybe they didn't hear you.
Yes, you are defiant to me, sir.
Huh?
I made a joke, did you tell?
No, I was just breathing funny. Sorry. Moving on.
You just got looked at.
Right. Jonathan Earl, $2, Starbase 1. They never went to Starbase 1. This is Starbase 47.
Oh. But it looks the same, Stuart. They even filmed it from the same angle.
Yep, it's the same scene. It's just it's Starbase 47. It's not Starbase.
I mean, I think, come on, let that
not Earth
slide.
space
Let
stuff.
that slide.
I'm going to. It's going to be. It's going to be a B tier for me for base because
Yeah.
it was cool to see, and we had a whole discussion where we covered this like early on in Trekyards history. They'd have to redo all the doors. They'd have to change the scale of everything to have the Enterprise D fly through like it did. But it's Starbase 47, so I'm going to say B because it was quite cool to see the exact same shot from Star Trek 3 redone.
I bet they got very slight blowback for using it in TNG. Maybe because they never did it again. And it's glorious footage. And they could have had Excelsior go in. You know, oh, Riker's going with the hood to the whatever starbase. Replace ship, bring in. It would have been so nice. I mean, fine, right? Would have been great. Sadly, it never got used. So it's very specific in the episode. Now, it was going to get higher than the shitty, overly, massively, horribly scaled station from the Data episode. Called, whatever, you know, is he human? Yes. No. Anyway. Yeah, I think B is very fair. I think it's very fun to see an episode. And a season 1 bring in... Yes. It stands out as like, that's really cool to see. And we get all the docking stuff. We get the full interior. It's a great one, yeah.
Classic for real.
80, yes.
Classic for real, $5. Space stations count. That very obscure space station, Deep Space Nine, in that very memorable episode with a random scene lady standing behind Quark. Yes, in relation to our discussion yesterday. I don't.
Yes, I think they've left DS9. They've questioned back.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, there, Deep Space Nine. As it plays in TNG, I don't know. It's cool. It's great to see, and because it's its own thing, but I don't know where to rank this.
It's the one time we're possibly ever going to see DS9 HD.
That's a lie, and you know it.
I said possibly. Of course, it's a bullshit shot, because TNG, it can fit in the top, but it would take up the entire space. As so off scale, it's horrendous. So, I know it could have been a lot bigger in the frame, but they wanted to do something to feel like the hero. But so it's a broken shot by definition. But it's great, and I'm sure at the time, if anyone liked DS9, it would have been exciting. Oh, no, it would have been fun. Could have been more than once, would have been nice. But it's not as memorable as a space station, even though it could be. But the episode is less memorable. You don't like it very much. Bashir's great. They do a little bit of promenade, if I recall. I would give it a C. Wouldn't it?
I was gonna give it a C for cameo.
Yeah. TNG paid Cameo $100 and they recorded a message to them. That's what they got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I was thinking C, so that's perfect.
Yeah. Great list, guys. This is super fun. The variety is wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Sussy Guru 2000 with our last one, €5. USS Defiant. Then it did show up in First Contact.
It did.
One tough little ship.
And a bloody unique CGI model of it, which is different to the other ones with a different light rig. The only real one to have the purple and the blue and the
That was a great scene though, to see Worf commanding that Defiant and that's how they got Worf on board, like for the ship for the movie.
What kind of speed is it, Stuart? I forget.
Ramming speed.
I bet you're just fun. It's like, I'm gonna be the captain of this destroyed ship and show how awesome I am. Rah! For like 3 hours filming. Most of that was just waiting for setups. You know.
Yeah. I think this deserves at least an A for its appearance. And we thought it got destroyed, but no, it was salvageable.
Yeah, this one's so tricky.
I might even put it in an S, actually.
No, but it's in one scene. Every shot is excellent, though.
Such a cute shot of it in the Enterprise. Like, oh, yeah.
But I don't think you think First Contact, think Defiant. It's in a movie full of cool things. It's one of the many cool things.
So A.
Yes. It's the best it had ever looked in terms of dynamic. But yeah, I don't want to give it that top spot.
Perfect.
But just the shots are really nice, the way it swerves and shoots. And as we said before, it's not depressing that, oh, Worf is in such a shitty, destroyed whatever. He survived the entire damn battle and still had pulse phasers working. Amazing.
All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much. I want to point out that we will be doing our review of Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 3 on Friday at this time. And I will not be doing a first look at it because it's Halloween night tomorrow. So
life.
Yeah. But as a bonus, I'm going to do something tonight instead on my personal channel. I'm going to discuss horror movies and horror TV shows. Lead up to Halloween. So tune in.
Excellent.
But other than that, join us on Friday, and we'll have our Lower Decks content. And I would love to see you guys there. So
yeah, we'd love to have 53 of you with a dynamic chat as we've had. So thank you very much for being really engaged. You guys have been wonderful with support. Really, really appreciate it. This month especially, guys. Really, really wonderful. Thank you, Classic, of course. You are throwing the weight around of the epicness. It's appreciated. And then next week we're probably going to do, because this has been a wonderful 2 days of just really interesting debate, might do one of the shows and ships, because TNG is the one that we have less stuff conceptually. Although we didn't look at a single goddamn Packard ship or variant. The whole thing.
I know. There's still a lot of ships.
Well done, TNG. You have a lot of one-offs that are actually debate. Almost none of them we just blew past because they're still tough to talk about. Nice. Yeah. And see us on Friday and next week.
I know, Lazarus, the TV remote did not break. It was not a TV remote. I'm at my computer. Why would I have a TV remote? And it was just this that fell. So it's fine. Nothing broke. Until next time.
Don't fix it. Klingons. Way.
Exactly. Until next time. He's Commander Cocky.
He's kind of Foley.